Good morning, everyone. This is Jayashree Padgiri, your host for the day. Welcome to Advancing Northeast. Today, we are here with a very special episode because it's not just one talk we are going to do, it's a series of three parts. We have study and work abroad, we have one career related, and the other one is emerging opportunities and skills in the field of finance. Because the personality we are inviting today is a man who's wearing a lot of hats, a multifaceted personality. And it is with great honor and enthusiasm that we introduce you to Mr. Rajkumar Mrityunjay Gohai, a remarkable individual who has not only graced the cricketing field but has also carved a distinguished path in the world of strategic management, accounting, and data solutions. In addition to his illustrious cricket career, Mr. Gohai is the founder of Find Insight Consulting, where he specializes in providing strategic management, accounting, and data solutions tailored to the unique needs of non for profit organizations. Yes, so this is not where it stops. Currently, Mr. Gohai serves as a freelancing consultant focusing on leveraging Microsoft Power Platform tools, including Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, and SharePoint to empower organizations with data driven insights and efficient business processes. As we delve into this interview, we have the privilege of gaining insights from a multifaceted professional, blending his illustrious cricketing career, where he is also a holder of the Ranji Trophy, with his expertise in strategic management, accounting, and data solutions. So that counts for the finance part. So, yes, we'll be starting with our first series, Study and Work Abroad, with Rajkumar Mrityunjay Gohai. Our guest is already here, and we are very, very excited for the session ahead. And I'm sure even you guys are. So, let's not waste much time and start with it already. So, sir, please. We want to start with a little about yourself, with your own words. You know, your childhood, your academics, and everything. Please, sir.
Thank you, Jayashree, for having me here today. Uh, well, this story about me started probably about 35 years ago, so probably you can figure out how old I am.
You don't look so, so that is a difference.
But yeah, so I'm from a very humble but a family of high achievers. So I born and raised in Uzan Bajar, Guwahati. So I'm a very local boy, a boy with a lot of dreams and aspirations. However, the dreams and aspirations I had are something not directly linked to academics. It's an interesting story and the path I took. So I love sports, and my focus was always to play sports at the highest level. So I will share my journey and how I have from sports to education, and from education to higher education, and from there I have started my own consulting. I will tell you the entire story.
Yeah.
But this boy, 30 years ago, started his dream of playing cricket. And when I had my dream,
So, sir, you were very young, right, when you had that cricket
yes,
fanatic obsession
yes. So
started?
cricket started at a very, very young age.
Young
You know,
age,
even
yeah.
I don't even remember when I first hold my first cricket bat and cricket ball. But I had an amazing, supportive family.
Right.
A family where my mom and dad, my sister, they were all high achievers. However, they always supported in my journey. So when I first hold the first cricket bat, you know, they never said no. They said, "Okay, son, if you want to play, let's play." You know, so they always encouraged me. But then it happened in 1993. One day I was actually playing sports, playing cricket in the banks of River Brahmaputra, and somebody saw me. Somebody saw a talent in me, and he rocked up and he said, "Do you want to play cricket?" And I said, "Yes, absolutely." So that person's name is Nawab Ali, and he is the coach of Guwahati Cricket Coaching Center. And the day he saw me and the day he found me, since then I never looked back. In 1993, I played under 13s.
Okay.
So that was my first Assam state. And from there onwards, I went on to play different age groups, and we will talk that in my
Yeah.
sporting thing. I did my schooling from Don Bosco, Guwahati. I was a average student kind of thing. It's not that I was an average student because it's not that I was not studying, or it's not that I was bad in studies. It's because cricket consumed a lot of
Yeah.
time from my daily routine. However, I did manage to clear metric, and I was okay at it. Then I did my higher secondary from Guwahati Commerce College.
Okay.
Then I did my BCom from Guwahati Commerce College. After that, there are some series of events happen during those time, and which
Yeah.
we will come back,
We will come back.
at different stage
Okay.
today. After that, I went on to pursue my higher education.
Higher education, right? So speaking of higher education, we were coming to that, obviously, that you did your masters from Australia. So like you said, cricket consumed you most of the time, and you that academic thing, that was, you were not that of a geek or not that of a nerd, that the academic was the main part or something. But then how did you decide to go abroad for higher studies, because it was not something related to cricket or sports? So to leave that and then to go for higher studies, so what was that decision?
Well, this is where I will come.
Yeah.
A very important thing happened in my life is I was always someone who always grabbed an opportunity. So I always tell young kids and the next generation that dreams and aspirations are very important. However, your dreams has to be also realistic. Aspirations can be aspirational. That's why it's an aspiration. However, whenever there is an opportunity, make sure try and grab it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean the opportunity what you had, if you tried and if you fail, and it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail, but if you say I have failed but I have learned something, that's good enough.
Yeah.
So in 2000, so when I was playing sport, I was good at it, and I got a job in North East Electrical Power Corporation. So
Okay, before your higher studies.
before my higher studies. So I finished my
Okay.
graduation. I was playing sport. I was playing Ranji Trophy. I was playing at the highest level, and I got a job in North East Electrical Power Corporation. So
NEPCO.
NEPCO, yes. And I was very happy with it. I was happy with my job. I'm living close to my family, so the life was okay. It was steady. It was going in a nice way as I planned. But sometimes plans change.
Yeah.
When I was about 24 years old, I had to make some tough decisions. I had to look at the mirror and say, are you going to play for India?
Okay.
I asked that question. This is a question about, how in academics now they teaches you about a SWOT analysis, which is strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threat. I did that on me. I spoke to myself, I looked in the mirror, and I said, am I going to make it to the Indian cricket team?
Okay.
Because in 2007, 2005, there was no IPL. The only way I could have made to Indian cricket team is by playing Ranji Trophy, which I was playing. But at the same time, my age was catching up.
Yeah.
So at that point in time, I made a decision that, okay, I think this is the right time to think about a career which will be a little different than sport. I was lucky that I was a graduate. So I decided that, okay, let's look for an educational opportunity abroad. I first looked at UK. However, when I looked at the UK universities and opportunities to stay longer in UK, I think UK was quite saturated at that point in time. But Australia gave me a very, very good platform to go and pursue my masters.
Okay. So that is why you made the choice of going to Central Queensland University
Correct.
in Brisbane. So can you just shed a little light on the process, that going through the applications and where to apply, which one to approach, and that, so that our students can.
Well, you can imagine in 2007,
Yeah.
the world was a very different place.
Right.
the information was not there ready-handed.
Exactly. Yeah. That.
So now things have changed. Young kids carry a laptop in their hands, which is your mobile phone. You have got Google, you have got ChatGPT, you have got all the new gigs which is out there, and the informations are on your fingertip. Back then, we had to do a little bit of research. I was lucky enough that I have a family whom I could have reached. I have got some of my family members before who has traveled abroad for work and stuff. So I did some research before, and before I started applying for universities. So there was a consultancy firm at that time which I approached in Guwahati, and it's not just me. I went to Australia along with a couple of my friends as well. So they went to different universities in Australia around the same time. So we went to the consultancy. We looked at all the different universities available. We looked at the process of how to navigate through that entire application process, or your study loan, or all the requirements required at that point in time. It wasn't straightforward. It wasn't because there was not much in Google at that time. There was not much in internet at the time. So we had to depend on information that was coming from different people or the consultants. Whereas if you look now, there are so many other avenues you can get those information from.
Right. So yeah, so that is how you made it there. And after that, what were the initial challenges and everything? Because obviously you had friends right there, but
Well, I had friends. I had friends. I didn't had friends from my native place, but I had friends who played sport before in different parts. That was the advantage, I always say. Because of sports, I have learned a lot. I have met a lot of people. I have traveled different parts of India. I've been to England a couple of times to play cricket. So all these little things have helped in my journey. Challenges when I reached. As I told you, I was from a very humble family. So educational loan was a daunting task. To get a loan, and mom and dad took a loan at the time was, it felt like a big burden on me. That what if, all those what ifs came. What if I can't make it? What if I can't repay the education loan? What if I can't make it and make it something which I will be able to work and repay the loans? And there are so much of unknowns, apprehensions, and people. I was worried. I was nervous. But you know what? The most challenging part, and the one of the most important thing which I lost when I went to Australia is my language.
okay.
So people don't realize that when your language is something which gives you your identity.
Right.
Your culture gives you your identity. When I landed in Australia in January 2007, I felt I have lost a big part of my life. It's like a one-way ticket for me, and I told mom and dad that I will come back, but I want to do something before I come back to India. So it was quite emotional. As I arrived in Australia, it was different. People speak English. As you can all know, English is my third language. However, these challenges never bogged me down. These challenges always actually pushed me to go forward. So accommodation was challenging. Again, it's all because of information. The informations were not there. Now kids goes and they know where to look for accommodation, where to go to open a bank account, how do you apply for a tax file number. You can go and look in Google app and say, where do you want to go? Those kind of informations were not there. So the challenge was basically trial and error. So you do something, you fail, and you learn, and you do it again.
Okay. So it was quite a hassle, the initial starting
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's also a massive learning curve.
learning. Yeah.
So that learning curve is very important for
Mm.
people. I always say it is not the starting point and it's not the end point.
Right.
It is the journey. It's the methodology. It's the
Absolutely.
roadmap,
Yeah.
what we have and how we progress every step. I think that is more important for me than actually start at this point
Yeah.
and going there.
Exactly, because if you wouldn't have fell and got up yourself, then you wouldn't have learned those steps,
Absolutely.
those
Absolutely.
little steps that
Absolutely.
actually counts.
Absolutely.
Right. So about that, after you went there, so can you tell us a little about your course? What course did you choose? Yeah.
So it was quite straightforward that what I wanted to do because I did my BCom here. So I went and pursued masters in professional accounting.
Okay.
So I always wanted to do accounting as a major because I had my BCom and higher secondary in commerce. So I did my masters in accounting from Central Queensland University.
Okay. So it was a master's, and was there any particular selection procedure that they went through? Any preparation that you did
Well,
before?
there was not exactly kind of preparation which requires. So you have to have your higher secondary and graduation marks to get selected for what university you're gonna apply for. Because
Okay.
if your marks are, if you have got higher marks or if you're doing well in your graduation, probably you will get into the top tier universities. So those criteria definitely you have to meet.
Yeah.
However, the challenging part of studying abroad is the way education,
Yeah.
the way the teaching happens in Australia or abroad. So there is a lot of research happens. It's not like something which here we get a book and we read a book and,
right.
and
we
there's
have
a course
exams and
and we have
everything, yeah.
exams. So there are a lot of assignments you have to do. People expect you to go to a library, go and search in the internet and read journals
Okay.
and come up with your own probably own way of explaining the solution or the problem rather than just finding in a book and just copying from the book. So there are a lot of challenges which we face because of the way the teaching happen. It's not that we have not have those kind of things, but it's just a different method of teaching and doing your academics.
Teaching and learning, basically.
Yes.
Right. So about the financial part, you said that your parents took a loan
Yes.
for your higher studies there. So that is something I feel that Northeast, especially the students, they do not really, think of studying abroad because of these inhibitions that
Yes.
what if we cannot pay,
Yes.
and how do we do it? They do not really know that there are actual ways out there
Yes.
available,
Yes.
right? Because if you have done it, everybody can do it. So can you tell us about any scholarship opportunities or internship opportunities that you have come across
Absolutely.
there? Yeah.
So I will touch 2 points here.
Yeah.
One is you said if I can do it, everybody can do it. This is absolutely correct. And I think you guys, the young kids or the next generations, are much more equipped than me at the time. Probably if I look back, 15, 16 years ago when I made this decision of going abroad, I think you are in a much better position than what I was back then. So definitely there are so much of scope and information for you to pursue education. There is nothing to be worried about a student loan.
Okay.
People worried about student loan because it's an initial investment, yes, and I'm not saying no. It's quite a large sum of money that you have to come up with. It's not just a loan. Initially, you have to show that you have got enough liquid financial cash or money available for you to support for the first 12 months or 24 months
Okay.
of your study. What if you don't get a job or something? However, there are ample of opportunities out there in Australia for young kids to work part-time. The education system is quite different. So in Australia, mostly the undergrads and the master students usually do 3 days or 4 days study in a week, and rest of the days they can work.
Okay.
Back then when I went there was a cap at how many hours you can work in a week, so that was about 20 hours a week. However, after COVID, they have changed the laws. Now they have changed the laws because there are a couple of reasons. Australia has a huge skill shortage, huge skill shortage.
All right. Yeah.
So it's an aging population. They need good people to come and work. So they don't want to lose the opportunity of the students who are already there in Australia
Right,
to
yeah.
work. So they have removed this cap of 20 hours per week. I don't know how long this is gonna stay. However, at this point in time, there is no cap. So you can, if you wish, you can work full time. I know you have your study commitments, but you can work.
Work that so that is also an option.
Absolutely, absolutely, and everybody does.
Yeah.
That's another thing I want to tell you guys. You know, when we are in Assam, or when we are in Northeast, or when we are in India, we are always surrounded by our extended family, then mom and dad, and we are taken care of. You know, we hardly do anything, and we never have to, because somebody is always there to
There,
give us a
yeah.
glass of water or offer some food. You go out there, it's a complete different world. So people do everything for themselves. So a
Yeah.
lot of people ask me, call me and said, I want to come to Australia. And I always tell them, come, please come. But don't expect that things will happen.
Yeah.
You have to make
You have
it work.
to make it work. Right.
You have to make it work. It doesn't come, somebody will not be there to clean your house. Somebody will not be there to, cook food for you. So these are the learning curves people learn, and I absolutely want you guys to do the same thing. So that job is absolutely there. Our young kids come and do a lot of different things, and there is no shame. It's a work.
Yeah,
You are
exactly.
doing. I have done a lot of things in my life, in my 17 years or 16 years. I will talk about that later. Coming to the second point, which I said about scholarship, you have asked. Absolutely, there are a lot of scholarships out there right now, especially education scholarships or academics, or there are scholarships which are helping students to come to Australia for exchange or internships and all that kind of thing. There are a lot of information out there in university websites you can look for. However, you can also come and talk to me. I don't want to just keep talking about scholarships, because it's going to take a lot of time.
Absolutely, right.
But there are a lot of opportunities for you to apply for scholarships to study abroad, or maybe part of the fees. There is a lot of support now for international students. Australia is looking for people to come to Australia, so they will do a lot of thing for you to come and settle down.
And settle down. And another major factor is also the language thing. So do you need to clear any language test?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
So there is, see, the rules are changing, but the test you have to all do is called IELTS,
Okay.
International English Language Test, and there are some. I think there is a kind of a band you have to reach, but again, that should not be the factor of you not trying, because even if you are, there are a lot of students who might pass out from local languages, and so it should not be a difficult thing for you to manage and do it, because there are so much of help out there now. So even if you are not at the top, or even if you are thinking that I'm not confident enough to clear IELTS, there are different bands you can reach, and you can also do an English language course. So say, for example, if you are at a band 5 or 6 or something, or 5.5 or 4, you can still come to Australia and you can do an English language course before for a couple of months or something, and you get into your main course after
Main
that.
course after
Yes.
that, yeah. So there is a complete process and
Absolutely.
guide that's
Absolutely.
available. Yeah.
Absolutely.
They just need to know how to access them.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So then this, according to you, what do you think? Because you've experienced it, like you said, that people who have been there,
Yes.
the way they can say things, that perspective is different from what you can Google and
Yes.
find out, right?
Yes.
So what do you think are the skills required? Because only wanting to do something, or just that I want to go to Australia, that is not enough, right? You need those inside you, that inherent skills. So
See, the world is changing. It's globalization, all the geopolitical things happening around the world. You guys have the luxury of information on your fingertip. make sure think out of the box. It's a global world now. It's the world has become a very small place now. So you can jump on a plane today and you can be in Australia or in US tomorrow. So I think people should think, how can you come up with innovative ideas rather than just doing your coursework and happy that you have finished your master's or your bachelor's, and you're happy looking for a job or doing something. Why not explore avenues which are out there that can lead you to a more satisfied life? That's again, I will come back at a different point. So I think the skills what you need is adaptability at this point in time, because as the world is changing, you have to be adaptable. I always use a word called nimble. Nimble means something which you can change. It's like water, you can take any form.
Any form, any
So
shape,
that is
yeah.
very important, that there are so many choices out there. However, if you have chosen, say, accounting as your coursework, it doesn't stop you from becoming an IT professional out there. So you can finish your master's and you can start an IT course. And you said, Dada, what will happen if accounting will no more be there? There are AI technology is coming, or there is RPA, robotic process automation happening. My job is, do you have accounting? Will there be a job for an accountant? I want to do an IT course. Yes, you can do it. There's so much of information out there, but it's about your mindset. First, you have to be ready that I can take on different challenges.
And also you need to know, right, what you want to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That roadmap has to be there.
There,
So you
right.
need to have some strategy. Your strategies might change. Your roadmap might change,
Yeah.
but it's always good to have that roadmap built. People talk about digital roadmap, people talk about human centric design. So these are all different things. You have to do a roadmap on your life as well.
Yeah.
Like this, what if this happens, what if this happens, what if this happens. You have to plan. I'm not saying plan 50 years in advance, but you should have the little plans for what I'm going to do in the next 6 months, what I'm going to do in the next 1 year, how I'm going to change or how I'm going to adapt if things changes. And things might change, geopolitically change, globalization is coming, technology is changing. Don't just be thinking like, okay, this is what I know, this is what I'm going to do. So I think communication is very important. Be brave and speak up. Communication is very important. Don't worry about what people are judging or what people think. We all know English is not our first language, but be brave enough to jump up and raise your hand and speak. So these kind of things are those soft skills. Technology skills are always there. You will learn technology skills, you will have a lot of skill set, you will be technically very sound, you will know finance, you will know accounting. But some of the skills, like the soft skills, telling a story about yourself, what is your one thing you are good at, and market it out. Tell the next generation.
Those are the basic skills that you must.
You should.
Yeah.
You should definitely have those kind of skills.
Yeah.
Everybody is different,
Yeah.
so there is no one size fit all kind of thing. But what you have inside you. That is one thing I might not have, and find a way to market it. Find a way to sell that as a product, and be out there. It's there are information, there are opportunities out there, but you just have to come and grab it.
Okay, so moving ahead, we were about to ask you about about what message or what advice would you like to give, but you have already said everything, that how to, how the approach and how do they take themselves forward. So wonderful, wonderful words by you, and even I have learned a lot. So now I would want to know, since you are a citizen of Australia, so what are the pathways about staying back there after completion of your studies and everything?
Becoming a citizen of Australia was a tough decision, because Australia and India don't have dual citizenship. So I actually had to renounce my Indian passport, and it was quite sad.
Okay.
It was a sad moment for me to renounce my Indian passport. However, I have a thing called OCI, which is called Overseas Citizen of India. So that way I can come in and out of India anytime.
All right. Yeah.
To become a citizen, there are a number of pathways, or probably that's a choice you can make. I have knowing people who lived in Australia for a long time but they are not a citizen of Australia. You can also live and get all your social security, all your benefits from Australian government even by becoming a permanent resident. So the pathway to become a permanent resident, the easiest pathway, again, don't take my words as more kind of a technical thing. You have to speak to your agents or visa people, or look into the website of Australian government. But I think by completing your studies and you get some points, there is a point system how you can apply for your permanent residency. So you have to meet those criteria, you have to meet those points. Once you meet those points, you have to apply, or probably kind of write an expression of interest to become a permanent resident in Australia. So I think there is now, the rules have changed. I'm going back a long time, so don't quote me. I think there are now a certain number of spaces, or number of applications they will accept in a year to become a permanent resident. But at the same time, there are different pathways. So you can study, you can work. Your age could be a factor. Studying and working in a regional area could be a factor as well.
Okay.
Some of the regional areas I'm talking is insanely beautiful in Australia. So it's not like that you have to be in Brisbane, or you have to be in Melbourne, or you have to be in Sydney. Lot of people especially from in India, or they have only heard about Melbourne or Sydney or Brisbane or Perth or Adelaide. But there is Tasmania, very beautiful. Hobart is very beautiful. You can go and study in Canberra, which is the capital of Australia. And then there are other regional towns like Rockhampton, Newcastle. There are so many options. So many options. Australia has got one of the best educational system. They have some amazing universities you can apply for. So once you finish your studies, once you are ready to apply for permanent residency, we'll talk again on that. It's a complete different topic. We can. However, once you become a permanent resident, you are eligible for all the social securities what the government offers you, like free medical, your education, and your all that a citizen usually gets. So I became a permanent resident back in 2012. And then I did not straight away jump on to become a citizen. So after
Almost 10
well,
years, yeah.
once you become a citizen, once you become a permanent resident, you can apply your citizenship after 2 years of become a permanent
Alright.
resident.
Okay.
But I think I waited for about 3 or 4 years before I wanted to become a citizen. But becoming an Australian citizen is also an honor, that you get opportunity to be a part of and embrace the culture and the opportunity that has given to me to be who I am today. So yes.
So obviously you can work there, working opportunities
Absolutely,
great.
absolutely, absolutely.
Universities are great.
Absolutely.
So everything is very smooth and
Absolutely.
streamlined
It's-
once
it's-
you
once, yes. And see, that doesn't mean that you have to become a citizen to enjoy all this. You can be a permanent resident and live there. A lot of people I have seen who are permanent resident of Australia, but they wish to come back to their hometown and do something. That's absolutely okay for people to choose.
So do you have a community or something there,
Yes,
like Asmus people community
Absolutely.
or
Absolutely, absolutely. So when I reached Brisbane in 2007, I met. It was just a coincidence that I met a close friend of mine. Well, not a close friend of mine. I met someone from Assam, and we
Yeah.
became very good friends. Since then, we are very good friends till today.
Okay.
Our families are together, so we shared the same accommodation place. We lived together for a long time. We studied in the same university. So my friend is also a CPA like me. So we share a lot of
Common.
common things. We married in Assam, so
Okay.
so our families grew together.
Yeah.
So
Your family wife is from Assam.
yes, so she is
Okay.
from Assam. She's a local girl as well from Guwahati.
Okay.
So we started an Assamese Queensland Assamese Association. I think, if I'm not wrong, in about 2009,
Mm-hmm.
and we hosted our first Bihu there.
Oh,
Um,
great.
Probably we had about 10, 15 of us back then.
Mm-hmm.
Now it has grown. Still, it is not as big as uh, the Assamese Association in Sydney and Melbourne. So we probably have about 50 or 60 people now. Slowly growing.
Slowly growing, yeah.
Growing. However, I have never. I have met not many people from Northeast as such.
Okay.
I do know few from Shillong. A couple of people I met from Manipur and Nagaland. I wish if I can connect more with some of my Northeast people,
Northeastern people, yeah.
and I'm thinking this time I have a like a wicked plan of bringing some of the Northeast people together and see if
Okay.
we can
Yeah, that
catch
would
up.
be actually great.
Yes, I do catch up, and people sometimes come and when you're in supermarket or something, and people will come and say, "Are you from Northeast?" Or somebody. I met one girl from Nagaland, and she was like looking at me and staring at me, and she was like doubting, should I ask or should I not? And then I actually approached her and I said, "Do you want me to ask somebody?" Because she was
Yeah.
staring at me and looking. And I said, and she said, yes. And are you from Northeast or something? I said, India. I said, yes, I'm from Assam. And that's how we became friends. But I think, yes, it will be good to connect with more students and people from the bigger Northeast part, not just people from Assam.
Northeast part, right? Absolutely, because that's how you keep your roots intact,
Absolutely.
and that cultural exchange is
Absolutely.
very
important.
very
Because that
important.
another thing, as I touched base before, you lose your culture.
Yeah.
Not lose your culture, but you miss out in so many things.
So many things.
You missed out on all the festivals. You missed out on all the weddings and cousins, and you missed out on the family activities. And Australia is, you basically spend most of the time either studying or working, as you have to do a lot of work by yourself, so you don't get to see a lot of your friends even during the week, because everybody is working, everybody is busy. There are only so many weekends in a year, and weekends are filled with activities or sports,
yeah.
or something. So I think it's social media has definitely helped to keep in touch, because even when I come to Assam or when I travel, people always say, "Oh, I've always see you having a coffee there," because we keep sharing things. But I think it will be good to set up something where the bigger Northeastern people can come and join and connect. I think I will have to take some help from you as well. We'll see. We'll do something.
Sure, we'll do something. So, yeah, thank you so much. It was very inspiring, and everybody watching us, please come forward if you are an aspirant to go abroad and study. There are so many opportunities, and sure, you can also connect with they can also connect with you. They could
Absolutely.
connect us, and we could also figure things out. So there's always a way. Thank you.